Welcome back to another Marketing Chinwag. I'm Paul Gully from Elevated Online.
And I'm Matt Thorpe from Grasshopper UK.
And today we just wanted to cover some points to help you get the best from your homepage. Website's key to your marketing, should be the sort of centerpiece for everything you're doing and sort of where you drive everybody to it. So when they land on there, you want them to stay, you want to take them on a journey, but it needs to be the focal point. So it's just a few hints and tips to take you through things to think about for your homepage and make sure that they're working.
Exactly. So you've heard the phrase, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, or something like that. And that's completely true with your website, because if your website just looks awful, it doesn't work properly, the design and the layout is terrible, people are just going to look at it and they're going to run a mile, which means that all your work on your marketing side is completely wasted. And it also needs to work like a shop window. So, if you've got a enticing window display, when people walk past, they're going to want to come in. If your window is shabby, it's drab, it's not very exciting, they're not going to come in, they're not going to want to learn more about you, they're not going to pick up the phone or send an email. So your homepage is vitally important. So Paul's going to give us some tips, because Paul is a designer in the team, and he spends his days working with businesses to try and make sure that their businesses jump off the page and they keep people hooked in and make sure this website is sticky and generate more leads. So Paul, website homepages, what's the first thing people should make sure they've got that? What's the first box that people need to have ticked?
First thing's the design side. So you've got to make sure it fits with your branding and it looks, it's got your logo and your colors and everything else. Not too many colors. I always try to go with like the rule of three. So you've got your kind of main branding color and another and maybe an accent, or it could be that your brand has got three colors. So stick with that. But key as well is to keep it clean and clear and simple. So don't overly complicate it. Keep everything down. Don't clutter too much information. And a lot of things that people don't think about, and perhaps I do as a designer, is use negative space. So it's not a problem to have a gap between sections and things like that. It's actually good because it focuses the eyes and you want to draw them in to that sort of centerpiece of the page. So yeah, key thing, keep it clean and simple.
Yeah, because I've seen websites, real horror stories, where you go on there and it looks like someone's just thrown up on the screen and your eyes are kind of drawn all over the place. They're sort of here, there and everywhere, and it's almost like you don't know where to focus. And they get this, consumers or even business people, but when the people are looking at websites, they get a thing called a paradox of choice. So you give them too many things to think about and they end up making no decision whatsoever. So you think about it like a department store, a bit like Marks and Spencer's, where you walk in the door. If you want to get to the food at the back of the store, they don't just kind of send you straight to the back. They guide you round a way and they show you what they want you to see. And that is the way you need to think about it. So what Paul said about design and using that negative space to guide people down that page to look at the right information, that is massively key. What else? What else is next on your list?
Obviously, you need to plan the page. So you've got to, like you said, you've got to take them on that journey. So obviously, the first thing they're going to see is what we class as above the fold, which is the top part of the screen before they start scrolling. So that kind of header, a lot of websites will obviously have a header image. Make sure that's engaging and it's to do with what you do. I'd try and it's an eye catcher. So use an image, have your headings on there, but get it clear as to what you do or what the message is that you're putting across, and even have a kind of call to action button in there that might be contact us or find out more or something like that. But get key information above the fold, but again, don't overly complicate it. It needs to be short and sweet just to kind of grab them.
Yeah, and obviously, we talk about messaging. That has to be key as well. So think about when you're doing your messaging. Don't just think about what you do and what you are. Think about your customers. What's the benefit to them? What are you offering them? Because if you go to think of it like I was explaining it this way. Think of it like a dinner party. Yeah? If you go to a dinner party and you walk up to someone and they go, "Hi, I do this. I'm good at this. I'm amazing at this. I've done this. Look what I've achieved." It's just like you just walk off. You don't want to talk to that person because it's all me, 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 me. when you're, someone lands on your site, they want to feel like that site is talking to them. They want to feel like you already know what they need. So maybe a question or a pain point or something that's really going to help them realize that this is the place they need to be.
Yeah.
What about imagery, Paul?
Yeah, again, it's important to what you're doing. So try and, if you can, try and steer clear from using lots of stock images. If you can get some actual
people.
You what? Sorry.
Smiley people who look like they're having an amazing time in an office at work.
Yeah, totally. If that fits in with what you're doing, try and get some engaging people on there, or people from your sort of company, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's about like you said, you've got to touch the point with the customer. So you're answering a problem or showing how you can solve a problem. So the imagery should try and tap into that emotional feel with the customer. But yeah, where you can, try and use sort of original stuff, whether it's graphics or design bits that are bespoke for your company. I'm not saying don't use stock stuff, because the stock stuff is great, and if it fits with what you want, go with it.
Yeah, exactly. But you just got to be a bit selective. I mean, you do see a lot of websites, and there's so many cheesy, smiley, happy people on there, and it just doesn't look great sometimes. I mean, let's be honest, no one's happy to be at a dentist, are they? No one's walking through the door like this with a big smile on their face going, I can't wait to get my teeth drilled. It doesn't quite work like that. So think about, be realistic. You still have nice, clean imagery, but use stock photography. There's plenty of stock photography sites out there that are for free. Pixabay is one, and I think PX Fuel is another. Any that?
Unsplash.com's quite good as well.
Really good. Yeah, and then there's other ones you can pay for, but just make sure your imagery looks pretty slick. Okay, what about a big bugbear of mine is mobile?
Yeah, it's first and foremost now is that the website's got to be mobile responsive. So a lot of what we do in terms of when we're designing everything is we're always kind of checking straight away when we're doing any changes or designing bits, what does it look like on mobile? So it's kind of that now, having that whole mindset of mobile first. So making sure probably that it looks great on mobile, even over what it looks like on the desktop. Obviously, they're both vitally important, but yeah, vast majority of people are probably going to first visit your website on a mobile device. So make sure it works on a smaller screen.
Exactly. And there's one thing, as I say, the reason why this is a bugbear with me is because I've come across a lot of websites that have been built by obviously developers, and they've built a site and they said to the client it's mobile mobile responsive, and there's a difference between mobile responsive and mobile friendly. So I've seen busy websites with lots of text on there, and yeah, it's mobile responsive, it fits down onto a screen, but if you actually try and look at that on a phone, you are scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and that is not mobile friendly. So mobile friendly, Paul, you need to strip stuff out. You don't always have to throw the kitchen sink at people on a mobile phone, do you?
No, exactly. It'll be things like, even the menu on your website will show up differently to how it does on the desktop. You'll get, you'll see it on a lot of websites. You'll get the 3 lines, like the hamburger thing, they call it. And you click on that, and then there's a drop down, and it's just little things like that to make it so that it's not squashing everything so small that you can't read it, and you've got to zoom in and things like that. It's that the mobile friendly is that the website actually kind of redesigns itself to fit into the mobile screen, and it might look totally different to how it does on the desktop.
Yeah, but it gets the information across in the same way. So you've got to think about people on a desktop are different users to people on mobile. Mobile is, people are generally time precious. They just want to get to the info as quick as possible. They might be about to get on a train. They might just be waiting 2 minutes for a bus or something like that. So they're just having a little flick through. So think about your mobile experience for your website. Get other people to test it and give you feedback on what they think. Because if it's a chore, if it's hard work, if there are obstacles in the way, if they can't click on buttons in the right way, sometimes buttons are too small, or if they can't see imagery or text is too, or there's too much text, it just causes a headache for your users. So make sure you do lots of testing and get feedback on mobile.
Yeah.
What about kind of core things that go on the page, like messaging wise? What do what do our viewers, customers need to see on a homepage?
Yeah, so once you get from the fold underneath, you start scrolling. I mean, normally you'll have something that might introduce and say hi, welcome, or something like that. And yeah, it just has a little brief introduction, and then you've got to get across your kind of why. And I'd always say go with a why you do what you do and what problems you solve and things like that. So kind of elaborate on maybe what you've got in the headers at the top of the page. And then, yeah, you just got to sort of take them on that journey down. So then maybe highlight, a couple of key services or things like that that you're really wanting to promote, or they're your strongest offerings. So get those on there. And then it's all about social proof as well. People want to know that you're good at what you do and that they want proof of that. So testimonials and video testimonials or anything like that, try and get those on there as well. And then you've got to have your call to action. So whether it's sign up to newsletter or download our ebook or, get in touch for more details or something like that, make sure you're not leaving the page hanging, that it's kind of, oh, we've got to the bottom of the page and that's it. You've got to let your viewer know what you want them to do. You've got to guide them. So get them to click on a button and either take them to something else or download something, or data capture is obviously the key one. So I'd say get that. And then massive one is to make sure the links are on there for your social media accounts so that it links out to your Facebook and Twitter or Instagram. Make sure they're all working, and it's backlinks between the site as well. So it's more info for people to look at, but you want to try and keep them on that page. But yeah, that's the key things. But always make sure you've got a call to action somewhere on there, getting them to do some kind of action that will benefit you.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to a couple of things you said there. So video, I'm a massive fan of video. So video is the best converting media out there pretty much. So as long as, we call it sticky content in our marketing game. So if you've got a video that kind of encapsulates what you do as a service or what your product does, what the benefits are, that's really key. And it doesn't have to be kind of a Hollywood blockbuster, style promotion. It just has to be something that, as I say, can sum up what you do in about 30 to 60 seconds. And the social proof that Paul's on about as well. So obviously, if you have an Instagram feed or something that's showing people using your products, or showing some of your activity of your brand, that shows you're active, and people like active companies and brands because they think, okay, these guys are up to something. And then obviously the customer testimonials. Testimonials and reviews are massive for your business. If you are not collecting reviews, people are not going to use you, quite frankly. So think about everybody in your past who has used your service, who you can call upon just to leave you a review. On Google My Business is probably a good one. It's definitely worth collecting those reviews, and then obviously you can have them on your homepage. And these are little tick boxes in people's heads that build that trust and make people want to do business with you. And Paul, the last thing on the list, just to make sure nothing is broken.
Yeah, definitely. The obvious one there is the social media accounts. I've gone on websites before and you click on it and either it's not been set up right or it's not been put in at all. So you click on the Facebook logo and nothing happens, or it takes you to a page and it says this page is unavailable, things like that. It just gets frustrating and it will put people off straight away. Same as if you're linking to another page or you're linking to a download or you want people to sign up. You've got to make sure that all the actual workings behind the scenes are in place and everything does what you want it to do, because that's the first thing. People will be put off straight away if they click on something and nothing happens, and they can't see your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever. It's just point, and it'll put them away, and that's it. You've lost that kind of first impression on them, and you can't really get back from that.
No, exactly. And it just looks unprofessional, doesn't it? I mean, sometimes when people have a WordPress website, for example, the theme of the website might have every single social media platform going. And if you're not on all those platforms, it looks terrible. You don't need to, as you said in a previous video, you don't need to be on every single platform. Just focus on one or two, but make sure your links work, and make sure the links to your socials work, obviously, but make sure the links through to other pages on your site work, and make sure that your maps work. You know, I've seen so many broken maps in the last few months. It's ridiculous. And obviously make sure that if you're collecting email addresses, that works as well. And I always set a reminder in my diary every couple of weeks just to go through and check these things as well, because gremlins happen in IT and technology. So, you know, they can happen, and you can go 6 months if you're not careful with a broken link somewhere, and it affects your Google ranking, but it also annoys customers. So don't do it. Make sure it's all checked.
Yeah.
Paul, okay, that's a wrap because we're out of time this week. So where can people learn more about us?
So you can follow us at the Marketing Chinwag. We're on social. It's at MKTG Chinwag. We're on YouTube as well. So just search up the Marketing Chinwag. And the website is coming soon. But yeah, it'd be great to see you on Facebook or wherever. Drop in and say hello, and we can get chatting.
Exactly. So we're here to help small and medium-sized businesses. We're here to help. If you've got any questions, you can get in contact with us on those channels, because, you know, as I say, we're here to help, and we just want to, you know, get involved with as many businesses as possible. And, you know, if we can make sure that somebody doesn't make mistakes and somebody doesn't waste any money, or someone doesn't kind of, you know, cause problems in their business by doing the wrong things, then we consider ourselves to be doing our job properly. So there you go. Thanks very much, Paul. Thanks again. And we'll see you guys again soon. Take care.
See you guys. Bye.